Welcome to Business Reporter's Best of British Business campaign. I'm Rachel Hicks. Customers want to be valued, and now more than ever, they expect brands to treat them with care and respect, leaving a memorable customer service. For those brands who get it right, the reward is repeat business, customer loyalty, and in turn, growing income and profits. It goes without saying then that the customer experience is king. Yet too often the customer journey can end with disappointment. Why do so many good companies miss this golden opportunity? To find out, we're talking to founders Sally Allington and Matt Garner from Ethos Farm, award-winning customer and employee experience specialists. Ethos Farm's belief is that frontline customer-facing workforces are the most important make or break factor in many customer experiences. And with the right organisational culture and crafted employee experience, truly elevated customer engagement is possible. Welcome to the Best of British Business campaign. So what would you say to somebody who was sceptical about how crucial customer experience is to a brand or a company?
Ultimately, if you get customer experience wrong, you can kill your brand, you can kill your company. Your customers have more choice than ever before. Service has become probably the biggest differentiator in ensuring you retain and keep hold of your customer base.
Why are companies and brands finding it so hard to connect with their customers and deliver that experience?
I think boardrooms have to stop and ask themselves, do we have a customer experience vision? And if we do, is that underpinned by a strategy to deliver on that vision? The customer experience vision and strategy has to be totally underpinned by real data and insights. It has to be, what are our customers telling us and what are our employees telling us? And actually, how do we then look to transform and build a plan to really, really deliver what people are asking for?
So we'll look at the solutions that you can offer in a moment, but before we get there, I'd like to talk about the employee experience, because that's intrinsically linked, isn't it, with customer experience. Can you tell us more about how important that relationship is?
It's crucially important. I mean, it's the old adage that if you look after your employees, they'll look after your customers. So really what you need is the right people with the right skills in the right place at the right time, with the right tools, the right training, the right communication, and the right understanding of what your brand is and the service vision that they should be attaining. That's when brands really get it right. That join up and that golden thread from the C-suite all the way down to the frontline teams, absolutely critical. Otherwise, you end up with a brilliant vision and a brilliant strategy that's really glossy and looks good on paper, but it doesn't get executed by the frontline team, and that's the missing link.
Sally, let's imagine then that a company has decided to make that big commitment to improve their customer experience. It's a big step change for them. Where do they start?
It has to start with that vision. It has to start with that absolute fundamental vision of what are we aiming for. That has to be supported by data. There has to be a reason why that is the customer experience vision. And everything will flow from that. The strategy will flow from that. The way that you set up your business in terms of people and processes and the technologies, that all underpins it. To Matt's point earlier, how that is then communicated through a business so that from frontline through to C-suite, everyone is talking the same game. That's absolutely critical, because there has to be consistency. It can't be that we all congratulate ourselves in the boardroom that we've come up with a great idea and a great plan. Actually, we need to see that being delivered day in, day out by those people who are engaging with our customers. So communication side of it is absolutely fundamental, but that will flow from having a really solid and sound CX vision.
And that vision is based on data to some degree. Where does that data come from?
I think the brands that are really doing it well at the moment are getting a multitude of data points scattered across the whole of their end-to-end customer journey. So we know that what gets measured gets managed, and we talked earlier on that if you've got the KPIs and the data being discussed at boardroom level, then the odds are you're going to have a continuous improvement plan that helps drive that data forward. So those brands that are doing it really well at the moment are taking things like benchmarking from their own industry, but also taking benchmarking from other industries. So an airport might want to look at the hospitality industry, for example. Net promoter score is obviously really, really crucial crucial and important as well. But as well as the quantitative data that you can obtain, it's about getting the verbatims and the qualitative data as well. And nothing is better than scraping social media and the web to be able to really understand what your customers are saying about your brand. Stats tell you one thing, the verbatims tell you another.
The online review spaces, your Trustpilots, your TripAdvisors, your Google reviews, those are unprompted verbatim comments from customers who have clearly felt passionately enough about your brand, product or service that they've taken time to write about it, whether it's good or bad. And those spaces are so often overlooked. You tend to find organisations have someone monitoring their Twitter, X account, their Facebook, their Instagram, but actually those spaces where people have really felt passionately enough to write in their own words about their experience, that is gold dust in customer experience and really should be listened to.
We've talked about how successful customer experience can be a crucial differentiator. What do you see as the strongest trends in the future, and what can we expect over the next 5 to 10 years in this area?
I think there's 4 parts to this. I think in the immediate term, part 1 is all about CX being discussed at boardroom level, and we're seeing that more and more, but there's still more work to be done. Having that representation around the table, having the KPIs and the discussion points as part of your monthly governance, I think is absolutely crucial, and we're seeing more and more brands really ensure that CX is higher up the agenda.
Yeah, the second point is really around that relationship between employee experience and customer experience. And COVID reset everything in terms of employee expectations. I don't think it will ever go back to how it was before. Today, people can have hybrid working. They have much greater choice. People have really reset their own expectations around what they want to do and what a great job looks like to them. So trying to convince people to go to work in traditional customer experience, customer-facing roles is much more of a challenge. You know, maybe these people have to get up at 5 in the morning and be on shift and in uniform and standing all day. That is not as attractive as it used to be. So how do you overcome that? You overcome it by offering an amazing employee experience, something that really sets your company apart. Because ultimately, if you don't have happy, engaged employees, it's pretty much impossible to deliver great customer experience.
Then moving to the future in the third part is all around the fusion between digital and physical. A lot of brands now are really looking at their 5-year roadmap for digital transformation, but also need to be looking at their 5-year roadmap for their physical employee transformation as well, and ensuring that the two are fused together. So often, if you've got a great new digital product, if that's not been clearly articulated to the frontline teams and the two are joined at the hip, then ultimately you can end up breaking that customer experience where the frontline colleagues might not necessarily be able to interact with the technology as well as you'd like them to. So ensuring that the CIO and that the Chief Experience Officer or CX Director are in joint step with each other is absolutely critical, and we're seeing that more and more.
And then the final part, which is around the role of AI in customer experience in the future. And it's not even the future, it's, AI is here now and is a big part of a lot of organisations' customer experience solutions. I would say that there's absolutely a role for the efficiency side of AI, the learnings, the predictive elements of AI, handling the normal day-to-day questions as well, having chatbots and those types of things. That's not a new thing, but that really can drive efficiencies for a business. However, that will never ever replace people in our view. People are the differentiator. People are the thing that customers walk away from remembering a great service, a great experience. So we would always go to the old saying that, let the robots handle the ordinary and let the humans handle the extraordinary. And hopefully most brands will go down that path, because to replace humans entirely, we would think would be a crime.
Matt Garnett, Sally Allington from Ethos Farm, thank you.